Very good evening, everyone. Welcome to the series of the Great Amrita Alumni Conclave. Students are all optimistic about their future. Once a student has achieved a great achievement in his career or her career, why not share the pathway experience with others? Well, today the topic is about journey from campus to corporate. Well, we have the speaker here, Sreeja Sridhar, who is working in Hitachi as an associate software engineer. She's the Amrita alumni of 2021 who has pursued computer science and engineering from Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. So before getting to the session, if any of the participants have queries, please type it in the chat box. So Sreeja, I welcome you to the session. Therefore, we can start the series. Over to you now.
Thank you. I'm part of this. So hello everybody. So I thought this would be an active. So let me talk about the agenda that I have for today. I don't have any PPE as such, but I'm going to be talking about, so since my topic is journey from campus to corporate, I'll be talking 20 minutes about my campus life, 20 minutes about business intelligence. I won't take a lot of technicality. So it's just an overview. So everybody who gets it, because told me most of my audience are 12th graduates. So that's going to be my focus about work. And last 10 minutes we can keep for Q&A. But I would totally appreciate it if you can, if we can make this an interactive session, and if you can keep posting your questions and comments, whatever it is, if you want to add on, you're most welcome to do that. So yeah, I'm finally in the alumni speaker. Yay! I feel like the Happy Days movie Nakusimham Kanipichindi kind of thing. It's a Telugu movie joke. It's okay if you don't get it. So yeah, I started making a list of everything I did in college, and I had one whole page of technical accomplishments, and I'm so proud of myself. And then I flipped and I started making my non-technical accomplishments, and there were 2 pages of them. So I'm like, you didn't do anything technically, but yeah, we finally did get placed. So that's 1 plus point, I guess. So yeah, how many of you are really excited to get into college after your 12th, and you've like completely planned out Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara and Happy Days movies and all the movie things that you've imagined your college life is going to be? I so wish this was an interactive session, but yeah, wasn't prepared for this. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my college life. So feel free to drop in because Sachin can reiterate them to me. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about the kind of person I was after my 12th. So I was a very shy, introverted. I'm not going to try anything else. I'm like, my grades in my 12th weren't amazing. So I figured out that, I'm going to be the valedictorian. Gold medal, too, it's mine, dude. So I started off with that, and my semester 1 grades were actually good. But there was this first English lesson of mine where the teacher, like the lecturer, asked us to write an English poem. And I do write well. So I did write a poem. And so when she asked me to read it out, I was so shy. Like I hid my face. I went under my desk to hide my face. And I was like, what's the point? Like, really, she's never going to know the poem I wrote. I mean, what is this introvertedness, this fear going to get me? I'm never going to live my life to my complete potential. They're never going to know the talent that I have. So I have to you have to some point take this responsibility in your hands. You have to decide for yourself that no matter how difficult it is, you have to take it up and showcase it. And being scared is no reason not to do it. So maybe dramatic, but do the world a favor and showcase your talent, dude. So, and who knows, while doing it, you might even find happiness in that success, right? Like, for me, being a student of Bhagavad Gita, The ultimate purpose of life is only to attain everlasting love, peace, and happiness. I've quoted it from Gita, so I'm not making this up on my own. For me, at least, success does mean happiness. If you're happy with it, that means you have succeeded in it, right? So figured out I'll try my hand at literally everything possible: singing, dancing, theater, coding, public speaking, writing. Thankfully, I was good at most of them. But yeah, I did mess up a few, but I'm going to talk about them as well. But yeah, I mean, take theater for example. I started off with my auditions. Then I became a member after doing a street play, then going on to being the executive of the club. And then I became a senior executive. And then finally I became the co-secretary. So, I mean, kudos. So, yeah, college has to be about clubs also. Apart from your academics, if you don't discover what else your interest lies in, you're never going to live your life to the fullest if you don't discover your talents. And at least Amrita, the Bangalore branch, and whatever branch it is, they gives you a complete opportunity to explore whatever interest that you have in, help you build it better, help you mold into the person that you are supposed to become, right? If you don't give yourself the chance to be, choose who you want to become, nobody else is going to do it for you, right? So yeah, uh, the theater did kind of help. Performed in Kengeri, and then we went on to Pune National Open, R.D. Dandekar it's called. I went on to win the Best Actress, third place, and many other accomplishments, small skits, mimes, All India University competitions in Coimbatore, went to Amritpuri again. And I mean, I decided that I'm not going to let go of any opportunity. And it's okay if I mess it up, Slowly taking up opportunities help me normalize failing, because obviously I'm not going to succeed at everything I take. So it did help me accept failures. Being a 90% student or an above average 85% student, especially for them, they're not used to handling failures. So when I took up a lot of opportunities and I had to mess them up, obviously, so that helped me accept failures. And I know how much it's like really helped me in after I graduate, which I didn't know at the point. I just knew that, I'm gonna like, I'm paying this much, yeah. Kidding, that's not why I did it. But yeah, I went on. And what else? Ayud. So there's this event called Ayud, which is conducted annually, sometimes biannually. So it's the India Leaders Training Summit, which when I was studying, it took place in Kerala, Amritpuri. So around 22 states, people joined in, graduates, kids, school kids, uh, uh, working office class, literally all age groups. You might be like a kid or like you're 60, doesn't matter. Everybody were there. And I learned so much from that. Like meeting people who are not your age group, you get to learn a lot from them. And especially the younger people. I don't know why a lot of people think that with maturity, like with experience, you get a lot of maturity, but I feel like I learned more from the kids. So yeah, I mean, we did a lot of seva. We had sessions about public speaking, and we did a sanitary pads campaign, and we learned martial arts. And every evening we would have concerts. So the morning session full on, we used to be like, oh, lectures, oh, okay, fine, that, this. But by the end of the day, again, we had like amazing Stephen Vaidyan and Vidya Walks. I mean, yeah. So we used to have amazing concerts. So it was a very fun session. I think everybody should be a part of Ayud. Yeah. So it was a lot of cultural enhancement about how to acknowledge where you belong. And we had this talk. I mean, we did have amazing speakers like Kiran Bedi and everyone, but you never know where you're going to get inspiration from. So this was my moment where there was the speech from an advocate, J Sai Deepak, about identity, about our culture, about Indian geography, Indian history, and it was a very logical one, nothing related to religion, you know. It was a very, very logical one, and I was awestruck, like, wow, that is a perspective. I never knew I could think that way. So you never know where, you know, inspiration comes from. And Amrita has given me that opportunity to learn human values, I can say. Like, I can easily say it's human values. And especially the cultural department, cultural education department, it's called something, I'm sorry. So we had like, okay, so let me tell you about my electives. When everybody were taking up BizCom electives, business communication electives, and other, I don't know, English literature electives, I was like, okay, I'm going to take up message of Bhagavad Gita. I'm like, okay. So I was portrayed as a very boring person, which I am. In real, I'm a really boring person. So yeah, take of Indian culture into the 21st century. And we did a big book report on Chanakya Niti. I hated doing it, but right now I know how much I've learned from it. So thank you, Arjun sir. So, I mean, we had, the best part is we did get credits for it. So we weren't doing it out of like love only. We did get awarded credits. So that's a plus point. Thanks, Amrita. So we had about Ramayana, Mahabharat. We had elaborate discussions. It's completely by choice again. There's nobody is going to pressurize you into learning anything or doing anything which is against your beliefs. I think that's again one good part about being a part of this institution. So you were definitely allowed to have your own beliefs. It teaches us to respect other beliefs, in fact. And I'm a Hindu, and it gave me a completely new perspective about my own religion, to be honest, because yeah, I don't want to talk about my religion beliefs right now, I guess. So yeah, we had national level architecture about temples workshops, iconography workshops. We had really fun trips to Hampi and Tanjavur. Like, I know it sounds boring, but yeah, Gurukuls, because I personally love to explore my culture, and you can't hate it if you don't know about it. Like, if you want to hate it, you got to know about it, gather points to hate it, and then hate it. Like, you are completely welcome. India is a very democratic country, go for it. But you need to know about it. You cannot be ignorant and just follow it, right? So yeah, it's given me a lot of insights about how to be empathetic about my emotions, about other religions and stuff. So I'm gonna like reiterate back to my technical accomplishments, because I feel like I'm only talking about my extracurricular activities I did. So I was really sure that I am not going to do any technical internships, not because I couldn't. It's so Amrita organizes this intern mela right from your first year, where you can apply to a certain number of companies who come directly to your campus. So it's called the intern mela, where it can be a small startup, it can be a huge company. So right from your first year, you can, excuse me. So right from your first year, you can have the opportunity of applying jobs, interviews, and resume making and everything. So I also made a resume. It was a very funny resume first year. I didn't have any technical accomplishments. I just had one corner, my GPA, and I had like one calculator project, I think, because it was my first year. And yeah, I applied to Cuddly Collars. So that's a pet startup. So it's like a Robin Hood startup where you take from the rich and give to the poor kind of thing. So it was a really fun. So I because like I said, I decided to explore my opportunities before I can choose what I want from life, right? So yeah, that was one. And when I went on to placements again, I did get into Honeywell. I did my internship for 6 months. So apparently it's a very, very, very huge company. So yeah, I'm grateful for that again. And then I did have a PPU from there, but I also got into Hitachi. So right now I'm working as a full-time employee in Hitachi Vantara as a associate software engineer. So I'm going to be talking about my work culture there. So it's a very healthy work culture. The best part about it is, uh, okay, let me talk about my placements. Like, okay, that's a story you guys need to hear. The second interview I took was Honeywell. Aced it, got the internship, and I was on top of the world. I had like deep learning projects, one, and I had like two machine learning projects. I had one NLP project. I had two web development projects, and I'm like, okay, wow, this is it. This is my forte. I can, ace it. And my second interview I got through, so I'm like, okay, I got this. And then I entered, because it wasn't a PPO, I started applying for more companies, right? So I started applying, and I started making a list of the companies I applied to as well, So, when you become famous and you're giving your TED talk, you need to include the companies. So, yeah. So I started doing that. And at a point, the page was full. The number of rejections I got from the companies. I'm like, okay, flip. At one point, I'm like, this is golden jubilee. I'm not applying for companies anymore. This is it, dude. I'm like, I don't know what to do after this. Maybe I'll do like masters or something, because this is not mine. I'll do my internship in Honeywell and that's it. But then the number of companies that did come was enormous. The number that came was really huge. So I failed this. I have another company to apply to. This again, I have the mass companies, then I have the core companies, then I have my dream companies that I really want to apply to. So it gave me so many opportunities, even though I had more than like 30 rejections by then already. So I'm like, okay, I got this. And then I finally did get I got a lot of companies at the same time, approval at the same time. Like I got like 4 companies. So out of them, I did choose Hitachi Vantara. So yeah, that's how the shift happened from my campus to corporate, I guess. Oh wait, I really have to talk about Live-in Labs. That's another amazing feature that Amrita provides. Why I specifically do want to talk about Live-in Labs is that was the time when Srimantudu, a Telugu movie, got released, and I was like, I'm so in for rural development. I'm going to adopt villages and stuff like that. And they said you're going to have extra credits, which is like, okay, I'm definitely doing this. So yeah, we went on to work for rural development about very, very remote places in India. We go around. So this is how Live-in Lab works. We go around different villages in India of different states. We help. We analyze the issues that they have. And mine, for example, was in West Bengal. It was a very small, very remote village called Kalinagar. So we went to Kalinagar, and okay, this we went to Kalinagar. It does not have any means of transport there, so we had to like carry our own. After a certain point, we had to carry our own luggage, and I like breaking your trolley wheels because the roads are that not that built, because it's a village road, right? Like it's a very small road. So we didn't have water to drink, or like we had to get it from the what do you say, hand pump. We had to pump our own water. There was no place to sleep. There was no bathroom. There was no roof on the bathroom, and they didn't have a light in the bathroom. So we had to like hold our phones outside the door. The door didn't have a latch. So we were like holding from outside one flashlight of your phone, and the other person, like we somehow arranged a roof with sheets, and we had to pump our own water to get into the washrooms, and we had to sleep without the mattress and all, because it was survival mode. There is no room for luxury there, right? So it was like the day I entered, I was like, okay, that is it. I'm getting back. I am taking my next flight back. But uh, then my dad started making fun of me that I know you couldn't survive there, come back and all. So I'm like, okay, that is my ego triggered. I am staying here. So I stayed back, and I'm so glad that I took the decision of staying back. And yeah, we went on. We couldn't interact with them because they used to speak Bengali and I used to speak, we only knew Hindi, that too in bits and pieces. So yeah, it was very hard to have an interaction. And why would they trust us? We're just strangers coming for interviews door to door. I mean, there is no reason for them to trust us. So then we got to this place of where we told that we would teach the kids, the kids tuitions. So we gathered all the kids, and Amrita sir used to help with the education of those kids. So we came up and we started telling them fairy tales and rhymes, and we sang for them, we danced for them, we conducted fun craft workshops for them. So then when the kids gelled up with us, and they knew us, they recognized us. So when we went to their homes for interviews, then the kids only would come and tell us, ha, we know this Didi, she sang for us, or she danced for us, she made us do this, So that's how the interviews became easier for us. So and after 3 days, I was like, I mean, this is enough to be survived. This is enough to be happy. I mean, I don't know why I'm completely about, getting out to materialistic things. This is enough to survive and be happy. And I don't think I need anything more right now. So there was this point, I mean, it will be super difficult, but I was considering staying back also. So, I mean, and I was the team leader of this Living Labs, where it again helped me learn a lot about team bonding, especially in the scorching heat of 45 degrees, and you don't know the language of the people, and you have to do your own things for survival even. And it was difficult, but gathering your team again, it really helped me a lot about team building, I can say, and a lot about leadership qualities. And then we had to do a research paper on this. So we had to develop a small robot for it, not a very technical, huge one, but to clean up the ponds and everything. So we did go. We aced our interviews. We got better than the next team. I'm sorry. So yeah, we did ace our Living Labs, and we had extra credits for this. So in future, when some other subject elective grades didn't go well, we could substitute our Living Labs credits for it. So that's again an advantage where it helps us improve our grades. And yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to be ever grateful for every opportunity that Amrita has given me to become the person that I am right now. And it's honestly, I think I'm more grateful for the job that I am in right now, because it's a very healthy environment, like with flexible hours. I can it's a very exclusive team. We work on a project called Pentaho. I'm going to be talking about it in detail soon. um and I'm sorry if I'm like boring you. I don't know if you guys are even like listening, or if you're there. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but Sachin asked me to assume you exist, so I'm going to do that, Sachin. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about my work culture. It's an exclusive team where I don't report to a manager. I report directly to my director, and my director is super cool. He doesn't pressurize us to work any long hours. In fact, I had this one colleague who told me, "Why are you working late hours? You work till 6 o'clock. If anything is left, come early tomorrow. You're not going to. When are you going to spend time for yourself? Like, if you're going to work 9 to 6 for a company, you need to work the rest of the hours for yourself. Like, if you're not doing that, there is no point of working 9 to 6, right? If you cannot it's not always about money. It is about money for a certain boundary till a certain threshold. But if this is not like make you happy, I don't think it's everything. Like, this is my opinion. So yeah, I mean, my director is pretty cool. He asks us not to work long hours, touch wood. And we have fun interactions every week where it's like a cultural get together every week. And it's a very productive team, I can say. It's a new team. So it helps us bond better. There is no ego clashes or politics or something like that. It's not like, it's a wonderful team, I can say. So, I mean, I'm going to talk about like the takeaways that I've told you in my poster. So I'm going to talk about big data and business intelligence tools and ETL capabilities, and about my product Pentaho. So how many of you know what big data is? Like, I'm not going to get into a lot of technicalities because they said I would be addressing the 12th graduates. So how many of you know what big data is? What does it say? What does it mean? Anything? How I wish this was interactive. So yeah, big data, like in itself, means huge data, a large amount of data. Like when it's like you have to, okay, how do I put this? So imagine you're going to Walmart to buy something, right? Now your customer name is taken, your phone number is taken, and the product that you're buying is taken. Now, when at the billing counter, the cashier has to make a note of the customer name, the phone number, and the product you're buying, because they have to deduct that product ID from their warehouse, right? So when you're doing that, you have to store a record of who's buying, what they are buying, how likely are they to buy that same thing again. All this has to be stored somewhere, right? Now imagine there are 15 Walmarts in that district, okay, in the state, in the country, worldwide, right? So this is huge data, and no data can be lost. Like, I need that at any point. I need to be able to access what that customer bought on that particular day, right? So all this has to be stored somewhere, and it's a lot of data, right? It's huge data. So this analysis of this huge data is called the big data analytics, right? This is like a very simple kid statement of how what big data can be defined as. Now I'm going to talk about what ETL, like, see, ETL tools mean. Like, for example, Walmart, that we did, like the largest e-commerce deal took place where Walmart acquired Flipkart, right? Okay, so it acquired it for almost $16 billion, I guess. So now Walmart has a certain way of storing this data. Like I said, let's take 4 parameters: customer name, phone number, product ID, the day that they bought it. Okay. Now Flipkart has another way of storing it. Like, Flipkart has if you have a subscription or not, and the product that you added to your cart, and the products that are in your wish list, the suggestions products that you get below when you choose a certain product. So Flipkart has a different mechanism, right? Now Walmart acquired Flipkart. Now what if they want to bring both the data of the products in Walmart and the products in Flipkart together? How are they going to do it? The storage mechanism of Flipkart is different from Walmart. How are they going to do it? Like, and it's huge data. It's not like I said, it's big data, right? So how are they going to extract it from there and load it into Walmart? So this is where ETL tools come in place, okay? They have to extract the data from Flipkart, and they'll have to transform it into parameters that can suit the Walmart database, right? So it has to extract and transform the data into the columns that it can fit into Walmart, and then load it. Extract, transform, load is called the ETL capabilities, okay? So that is what I mean when I say ETL capabilities. Then now that like for example, I can give you the HDFC Bank example. So there was a time when HDFC had only savings account features. It did not give out credit card features, right? So when after HDFC decided that they will also start giving out credit card features, so that's when they said, okay, I need a certain amount, certain type of software to give out credit cards. Now they didn't want to use what the other banks were using. The other banks were using Oracle, and HDFC decided to do IBM. Now the data is already existing in Oracle, right? The existing data is in Oracle. Now how are they going to shift it to IBM? Again, the ETL. So it has to extract data from Oracle, transform it into a way that fits IBM, and load it into this. So whatever your input source is, it has to be, when I say transform, I mean analyze it. So whatever your data is, whichever type of input source it has to take it, analyze it, transform it, create reports over it, reports to help us make a decision, and then like load it back into our desired output format, right? So that's one example of using HDFC. So decision, when I say in the transform step, how many of you know how the CXOs take decision on what is the next best action? So when I say CXO, I mean a CEO or a CFO, or anything in the place of X. So how do you think the CEOs and CFOs, and how do they take a decision on what is your next best action? So yeah, so this, like, you have a certain, like we discussed already, it's a large amount of data. Now I feel like Dora the Explorer, where like I ask a question, wait for 3 seconds and answer it on my own. Like I totally wish it was an interactive session, but like, sure, let me answer it for you again. So yeah, so this is what business intelligence tools do for you. Like yeah, I was talking about how CXOs make their next best action decision. Right, so now I have a certain amount of data. I'll have to analyze the entire data, like the entire data for over a month, or sometimes quarterly, or sometimes annually, sometimes over a lot of years, complete period of time. Now I have to analyze all the data throughout these years, and then I have to come up with a business decision after a lot of analytics, after a lot of reporting, as to what should I do next for the income of sorry, for the better income, or for better working of the company, right? So this is where your business intelligence tools come in place. So these tools take analyze the entire data that you have based on a certain filters or parameters. Like for example, the credit cards thing that I said, what if I want to issue it for only the first 1,000 customers, right? So if I want to issue it for only the first 1,000 customers, I'll put certain conditions. Like I should say they should have a savings account with me, their salary account should be with me, they should spend 2 lakhs at least a month with me, and like platinum sapphire cards you have, like that. I'm going to upgrade it only if they meet all these certain criteria. So I make a filter about all these, and I get, say, 10,000 people, and I only want 1,000. So I add more filters to it. They should live in urban. Their co-family, their immediate family should also have an account with us. Something like this. That's kind of lame, but yeah, something like this, right? So when I put all these filters, what is this making me do? It is helping me come up with a very intelligent solution with my criteria. Like I'm applying my criteria, my conditions to it, and I'm also getting the desired solution to it. Now, what tool am I using to arrive at this decision? are called business intelligence tools. Okay. So I hope you have an idea about what business intelligence tools are and ETL capabilities and what is big data. So the product that I'm working on is called Pentaho. Pentaho is a business intelligence tool with ETL capabilities. So thereby it helps in improving business performance and efficiency. It's capable of reporting, data analysis, data integration, data mining, etc. And it offers a very vast, comprehensive set of machine learning algorithms, which include clustering, decision trees, random forest, principal component analysis, neural networks, yeah, Hadoop management, and yeah. So our team exclusively, we are responsible for backend Java development and the maintenance of the big data plugins. Right now, we're working on MongoDB, and we're trying to publish the data models to analytic systems and build reports. We're trying to make Pentaho, like I said, my project, lightweight and make it SaaS friendly and make it container-based service. This probably might be a little Greek and Latin if you're like in 12th. But yeah, this is the kind of opportunities that you get to work on. Like when I was studying about machine learning and big data in college, it was like, please, yeah, I don't want to backlog in this. But after working on it for almost a year, if I go back and take up the elective, I know it's going to be like, yeah, I knew this. Why did I think this was so difficult? So yeah, I mean, with experience, I think that's one plus points of having experience. I don't have a lot of experience with still learning. It's a very vast product with a lot of functions. Still figuring it out. But yeah, this is the work that I do. So we do data transfer from IoT devices to DB for analysis, data migration from on-prem to cloud, and building data analytics systems on top of transactional DB. So yeah, I think maybe that's a lot. Maybe I'll give a use case of where Pentaho is used. It's have you heard about Federal Emergency Management Agency in the United States? Okay, so it's a huge. Those are few companies. Lewis. So these are few companies that Disney. Oh, Disney is a very interesting use case. It's a very small, very minute use case of Pentaho, I can say. Like when you sit for rides in Disneyland, every Disneyland ride has a certain sensor in its seat buckle. Okay, right. So thereby it knows like every person on the ride is has buckled their seatbelt. So thereby ensuring safety, right? So there will be one person who will be monitoring this before he starts the ride, right? So every sensor on the seatbelt has to be locked in. Only then, now Pentaho is going to take this data from the sensors and create a chart kind of a dashboard. Okay. Now in this dashboard, it will be seen as green and red, as in, yes, you're free to start the ride. These people have buckled their seatbelt, right? So now after seeing the chart, the person who's operating is not a coder. He's not going to understand a lot of things. So it's just going to be color based. And after he sees that everybody has buckled in, he starts the ride. As simple as that. So we have been using these business intelligence tools to make the smallest of decisions to huge CEO, CFO level decisions, right? Now we need a tool to analysis of all this. I think that's where business intelligence tools come in place. And like I said, that's my line of work right now. And I did have a little of electives that I've chosen that did give me a complete, a strong background, elementary level background on how it's going to be. So I'm not like completely dumb when I have KTs on working of and the functionalities of the product. So it's mostly a US based product that, so we have a lot of US clients, and we have the freedom to talk to our skip level managers and VPs and presidents. And there is, it's a very tree type of architecture instead of a very hierarchical one. So I think that's I would be ever grateful to Amrita for giving me this opportunity of getting into this amazing product. So I don't know if I'm like talking too much. I think I'll open the session now for Q&A. Will that be okay, Sachin?
That's fine. That's fine. But if so far our participants don't have any questions, so this was a very wonderful session, Sreeja ji. Wonderful in the sense, our speakers, they speak while giving a presentation, but this is an exception. You know why? I can literally speak without a PPT or a presentation without sharing it. Maybe most of them do, but you are an exception. Dear participants, this should be an inspiration to all of you. Okay, thank you very much, Sriyaji. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, all the
Thank you.
participants. Let's have a nice day.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you've been a great audience. Thank you so much. And since it's my alumni speech, I'm going to say, guys, we made it. We all graduated from college. So kudos to that, guys. So thank you all. Thank you for this opportunity. Have a great evening.